Dear students, viewers, and the subscribers, welcome to the IAS Mentor. We are almost coming to the end of the series Indian Polity. Nearly by the end of this particular series, there will be 125 lectures, which has gone for almost 4.5 months. And every single day, without any break, we have been giving the lectures, majorly to help the students preparing for the prelims 2025. And in the meantime, based on the request of the number of students, I also decided to do a series on Indian polity current affairs, majorly focusing the prelims examination 2025. The idea is to cover the last 1 year of current affairs and to pick the relevant and the most important current affairs so that the students have to move here and there and see a lot of resources which might consume a lot of time. So based on the analysis of the previous year questions and the trend in UPSC, I'm going to do this particular series. It will have more or less only approximately 50, maybe a little less or little more current affairs. But to do this, it requires a lot of experience. So let me give a formal introduction of myself with regard to what is my credentials, what is my standing in UPSC examination, which most of the times I have not told it to the students. So you can see here I have cleared this UPSC examination 4 times, but among that one it was an instant of CAPF examination. 3 times I have cleared the UPSC civil service examination. 3 times, first in civil service examination 2013 I have got rank 629, and in the civil service examination 2016 I have got rank 337, and in the civil service examination 17 I have got rank 737, and way back in 2009 in the CAPF examination I have got all India 37th rank. So overall I have gone to UPSC interview for 4 times. I have given multiple attempts, but 4 times I have gone to the interview. But all the 4 times I came out with a rank. So that is why I tell to the students also, if you get an opportunity to go to the UPSC interview, you should come out with a rank. So there is also a strategy for how to prepare for the personality test. I have made a separate video on that also, and I have been mentoring number of students preparing for the interview as well. But however, what helped me to achieve this is an important question which I wanted to convey the students. If I have to put it in one simple way, I simplified the process. What is considered to be a so complex process, clearing UPSC examination is considered to be so complex, but all that you will have to do is, you will have to focus on simplifying that. Once you simplify that, it becomes easier for you to clear the examination. It does not require an extreme level of intelligence, but it requires a certain element of consistency, a certain level of motivation, a certain level of perseverance, which is something the students have to bring in with themselves. Irrespective of all the motivation from the external forces it can be given, I don't believe that it can be done without the motivation of the individual itself. But anyways, I'm not going to that, but I'm going to say as to how to simplify your process and what I have followed. I'm not going to make it very detailed, but I wanted to give a essence of what should be done. So these are the essentials that I believe and which I have followed, personally tried, implemented it, which helped me a lot in clearing the examination multiple times. So first and foremost, I would say is you should have a very limited resource. You cannot have a lot of resources and you cannot move from one resource to another resource, keep on doing that, and you will end up nowhere. So what you have to have is, you'll have to have a very limited resource. You can take your time in identifying the resources, both for the conventional areas as well as for the current affairs. Take your time, but you then stick to that particular resource, revise it multiple times. So limited resource is one of the first important pillar, I would say. Then the second thing is periodic revision. So you'll have to do a periodic revision. Continuous revision is very important, and if you can consolidate your own notes, that would be great. And then periodic revision of that, and in the same place you can get the updation, you can make updation whatever is required. And then the third thing is practice of previous year questions. I've been stressing upon this to a number of students, but unfortunately many students, they try it only after they give two to three attempts. So initially what they do, they believe in doing a lot of practice questions. They run behind various test series, they run behind various other practice questions. But believe me that the most that will help you to clear this examination is your previous year questions. Try to do 25 years of previous questions. If you're done with 25 years of previous questions, you can go beyond that also. Okay, all right, I have done all the UPSC previous year questions. Then you do CAPF previous year questions, you do NDA previous year questions, because almost the same theme get repeated here and there. Maybe the level of difficulty might vary, but the same questions, or I would say the same theme where the questions are getting repeated in most of these examination, that is going to really helpful. And most importantly, it will also help you in understanding the UPSC language. Once you understand the UPSC language, that will also give an edge of solving 2 to 3 questions, even if you do not know the answer, because you understand the UPSC language. But anyways, I'll make a separate video on all those things. So that is not a major objective today. One of the major objective for this, as I already said, this is going to be an introduction video for the Indian Polity Current Affairs series for the Prelims 2025. So what is the feature of this particular series? And one of the major problem that is faced by the students today is especially when it comes to the current affairs. There's a lot of materials in the market and the students always feel insecure about the current affairs. So your success also lies in your ability to predict those relevant questions or the relevant topics that may come for the UPSC examination. I'm not saying that you will be in a position to predict all the 100 questions. That is not at all possible. It is not even possible to predict 80% of the question. That is also not possible. But you don't need to get 80% of your questions right. All that you need to get is only 50% of your questions right in the prelims examination. So therefore, if you can develop an ability of identifying the questions that may come for the UPSC examination, how you do that is based on your follow-up of the previous year questions. It's based on your understanding of the syllabus in UPSC. All right, this will not happen immediately. This cannot happen to the students in the very first year. But by experience, you can develop that ability, but it is going to take some time. And that is the reason why I am doing this particular thing for my students who are following my YouTube channel. I have an experience of almost 15 years, including both as a student as well as a teacher. I started my preparation way back in 2008, and therefore I cleared my CAPF first. And then subsequently, I started preparing for the UPSC as well. So now it is 2025, you can see it is almost 16 to 17 years of experience, both as a teacher as well as a student. And many times the students keep asking me, sir, after clearing the service, why you have not joined the service? That's a very long story. I'll make a separate video on that at the later part. But right now, how this series is going to be planned, what are the features of this particular series is what I want to convey to the students. What would be the important feature of this Indian Polity Current Affairs series for Prelims 2025? So this series will cover the most important, most relevant topics based on my experience. This is also one of the skill that actually helped me to clear this examination multiple times. So identifying the relevant topics, most important topics based on the trend in the UPSC, based on the importance of that particular topic. So based on all those things, going backward for the last 1 year, right from May 2024 till April 2025, I would pick up the topics and I'll keep it very short. So approximately it will be little less or little more than 50 topics. And these 50 topics will be spread across different topics in Indian polity. The major subtopics like the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, the center-state relationship, the constitutional bodies, representation of People's Act, and of course the miscellaneous areas, few miscellaneous areas also there. So covering all these areas, I will try to do this 50 topics. And apart from that, I will also do 50 to 100 questions from these areas. The idea of doing these questions is it will help you to recollect these topics. So that if any questions comes from these areas, that will help you to answer the question. And while doing the current affairs topics, I will also touch upon the conventional areas, because if you see polity as a subject, if there is any current affairs, say for example, recently there was a Supreme Court judgment on the governor's power under Article 200 of the Constitution. The Supreme Court came out with a timeline as to within which the governor has to take a decision, because the Supreme Court made it very clear the governor does not exercise any veto power, be it absolute veto or be it pocket veto. So therefore they fixed a time limit. So while the new development is a time limit that has been set by the Supreme Court, but we may also have to deal with Article 200 of the Constitution. We may also have to deal with Article 201 of the Constitution, where if the governor reserves a bill for the consideration of the president, then it goes to the president under Article 201. So we'll also touch upon these conventional areas also as we do with the current affairs. So in a way, it could be a lot of revision for the students. I'm not planning to make this series a very lengthy series. Probably there will be 8 to 12 lectures, maybe around, I would say 8 to 10 hours at the max. I'm not sure because I'm yet to completely go with the respective topics, but as far as the preliminary idea I have got, it will be a very short series of 8 to 10 lectures. And I'm sure that if you have done your basics right, or my students who have been following my YouTube lectures on the Indian polity series, if you have done all the lectures and if you have revised those lectures along with this current affairs series, I'm sure that you can get 80 to 90% of the questions right in the prelims examination 2025, again based on the trend in the previous year, trend as to how the questions has been asked by UPSC in the previous years. So this series will come out, it will come out from the next week, and every week there will be 2 to 3 lectures. So probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks it will be covered. So I'm planning to cover this by first week of May or by 10th of May is where likely this particular series will get completed. So as to give time to the students to revise for the prelims as well. Thank you very much, and I hope that this series will really benefit all of you. If you have any queries related to your preparation, you can reach out to me either through my Instagram channel or through my Instagram account or through my Telegram channel. Thank you very much once again. All the very best.